Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have for you a bit of a layout share. I'm going to show you some updated projects that I've been working on. So let's get going. So I recently returned back from my first crop of the fall season, and it was pretty productive. I'm not quite sure how many are in here. But let me show you some of these. I will say I started especially this 2-pager. I did start because I had a lot of things to cut out. I started before I actually went to the crop, but I love the way that this one came out. This was inspired by a Altenew stamp. Altenew die set, metal die set, and oh, I love the way that this came out. I ended up doing the mountains here on my Cricut. I've been trying to use it a little bit more. Hopefully you can see, I think you can see both pages here. I also did the title work. The additional mountains here I did as well. I used some pink stickers from my stash. This was all a kit that I put together. This was not a collection. And so I ended up grabbing different things, pink and the earth tones, from my stash. So this was documenting a really fun trip that we took out west a couple of years ago now. Yeah, that was the first one. Let me just see. Hopefully, I know I have every light on in this room and we're still seeing shadows, so I apologize for that. Here's another one. This is a Scrapbook and Cards Today class, and it was using the, if I'm not mistaken, the Echo Park Story of Us collection. And so I had these photos. I already had the base page done, grabbed it from my base page binder, and there we go. This one is this was also a base page that I pulled. This is documenting the beginning leg of a trip that we took this past May with some friends, and this is a cut apart from a previous crop that we attended. And what am I forgetting? And then this is also using leftovers from a Vicky Booten collection, a class that I had taken through Scrapbook and Cards Today. So that's that one. This is also a Scrapbook and Cards Today class using the... Now, I don't know who the manufacturer is, but I know that the collection is called Remember. So I still have some finishing touches. I have not finished this one completely, and I've lost the dot to my eye, but I'll find it somewhere. I still have the metal die that I created that with anyway. So, but while I was at the crop, I always try to make a little note for myself here. So this one, I'm just telling myself, finalize the title. I want to stitch up here and here. And then I need to finish up the journal and then add some finishing touches, enamel dots, that sort of thing. I got to pull. I made the mistake not to pull. I usually take the whole collection with me, whatever came with it, so I can add it. But brain is not what it used to be. Forgot. This is another 2-page spread that I made while I was at the crop, completely my design. This was using the Echo Park Fashionista collection, and it documents a really fun trip also a couple of years ago. And I made this embellishment with the Cricut, and then this is just something I had in my stash. And then I used the paper to create some interest in terms of embellishments, because all I had was the paper and the sticker sheet, and that was it. I did end up bringing a doily from my stash, but everything else, and the enamel dots on this one, but everything else was from the collection. I'm like, is this the way it's supposed to go? Yeah. So this one is using one of my 49 in Market collections. I'm not quite sure which one it is, so I don't want to make the mistake of doing that. But I tried, I had found somebody left on the free table. They left this particular punch and I grabbed it and I loved it. I wanted to use it over and over, but I did go ahead and punch out this border here. I did end up using some pockets from the 49 and Market collection, and I just have to find the date for this one, and this is going to go into that more the larger album related to this particular trip, because that was several days. All right, so then we have the Scrap with Scraps. If you've been following my channel for a little bit, you know that I have a Scrap with Scraps playlist. I'll make sure that I link it in the description box below. I've done it with different things, with actual scraps, with actual 6x6 papers. This particular one was all scraps I just put a page kit together, and that's what I usually do. And then once I have printed photos, I go ahead and I make the layout. Now, this one is missing some journaling. I also wanted to stitch. I have a little note. I wanted to stitch up here, but I love the way that the combination of the papers came through. This particular one was using a sketch challenge during the crop, and I love that the way that this one came out. This is using a scrap room kit that I had in my stash. I had previously used it. I ended up making some additional cards to be able to you get little prizes here and there at the crop. So I really love the way that this one came out. This one is using the Scrap with Scraps. This is the 6x6 papers. These two papers here are 6x6. This is using an old Paige Evans collection. I did use, I think this paper's Paige Evans, so is this. I believe this one is as well. The only one that isn't is this one, and maybe the pink. I did go ahead and pull from the embellishments that I still had from that collection, and just gave it a little title, pull in some chipboard from my my stash, and then I ended up just fussy cutting this camera from the paper, from a paper from the collection. There's that one. This is another Scrap with Scraps. Let's see. Mostly, I will say, well, everything is scraps on here, except for obviously this particular, the two larger pieces of paper here. But what I did is I went through and just tried to find matching embellishments. I did put together a video for when I was selecting embellishments, so hopefully you saw that one. This was one of them. And I tried to stick with the rose gold because this kind of reminded me of the rose gold, so I brought in those into those three clusters. I did end up doing these circles. This was also from a scrap piece of paper, and I used my Creative Memories circle templates, if you will, and I ended up using the wider one and the most narrow one to create these on the piece of paper, and I just did it twice, and I loved how it came out. So I really enjoyed doing this one. This one as well needs a little bit of journaling and some dates and things like that. So I try to really concentrate on just getting my layouts done, as you can imagine. So now that I have some downtime, I can go ahead and I can update all of the journaling. This is one of my favorite ones that I did this weekend. So this one is a 6x6 scraps with scraps. And I will tell you, you can probably barely tell, but this is a 6x6 piece of paper, as is this one here. So is this newspaper kind of print. This is probably a little bit bigger, but I really wanted it to pop the picture. I was having a hard time with the papers in the kit, but this one was already in the kit, so I decided to go ahead, and I love the way that this one came out. Again, all of the embellishments are from my stash. I really try to use a lot of kind of the story of the picture, which is, this is his favorite baby. So it's baby love. So I want to tell this story because he's so attached to this guy. And this one is on the mend. I need to make sure that I put him back together because he carries that thing, and let me say that he is not at a shortage for babies because he has a ton of babies, but that one is definitely his favorite. That's the one that he came to us with when we rescued him. So, all right. So let's see. Scrap with Scraps. This one is also another scrap. This one I did end up pulling these larger ones, obviously, from my collection. But all of these, here's a punch that I purchased from I don't even know the brand. I don't remember, but I loved this. And then I ended up finding the other one on the free table, but it's fine. They're very closely related, but they're not exact. So this is a scrap paper. So is this. I'm trying to remember if there's any other scraps on here. All of these embellishments are things that I pulled into that embellishment kit from my stash, including the title. There you have it. And I like to keep these on here until they're ready to go be put in the albums. This is another one. I want to say this was also a scrap with scraps, but I don't know where the little paper went. Maybe it got stuck back here. Because this paper has been kicking around in my stash for a really long time. This just documents our garden from this past year. We really didn't do much of a vegetable garden. And so we concentrated mostly on flowers. And this is the very beginning of spring when everything was springing up, including this guy who survived our Northeast winter. So very happy to have that little beautiful thing there. This is a layout. I also love the color combination with this one. I love the way that this one came out. I put the page kit together and I used just embellishments from my stash. I had enough photos that I did end up making this additional pocket page with some additional photos that I had, but these are my girls. If you have been watching me, and you probably know some of these friends, we met up in Georgia this past summer, and I love them so much. Scylla, Teresa, Jenny, the other Jenny. Much love to you all. All right. So last thing I want to show you, let me just untie this because I had this tied up here. Okay, so this is a mini album that I had worked on previously. So the base pages were already done. I concentrated this go around on the pictures and also framing out the actual front of the paper, of the album, sorry, not the paper. So I did go ahead, and this is in kind of like an accordion, not kind of like, it is an accordion album, pre-made, and it has a front and a back. And so, hold on a second. It's not wanting to let go here, or I grabbed it wrong. So I went ahead and I have spread around all kinds of pictures, because this is really about making memories and making memory making and making memories with some new friends, some old friends. It is just a mix of different times when I have gone to, whether it's day or weekend retreats with some of my friends over the years. And they're in no particular chronological order. They are what they are. But I will say, looking back, I showed a couple of my friends this, and they were like so so excited to see like themselves over the years and how long we have known each other for. It's kind of crazy, right? And here we are. Yeah, so I was able, and I have room to grow, which is really nice. There's a lot of different elements to all of this. And there we are again. I wanted to make sure I included those friends as well from this past year. And we did a really bad thing this last retreat, and we did not take any photos. So we are going to be getting together again at the beginning, the middle of November. So we got to make sure that we are taking pictures when we are scrapbooking together. So there is that, my friends. I hope you have enjoyed that layout share, and that hopefully it has inspired you. I will make sure that I link my Scrap with Scrap series just so that you have those available to you if you're interested in seeing how I create those kits. I will also try to link the playlist for the kit building. If you're also interested in that, know that you can just put it on there, and you can see all of the kit building videos if that's something that you're interested in. This one will be going into the layout share portion of the playlist. So if you're interested in lots of other playlists and videos regarding layout shares, this one will accompany all of those. So guys, until next time, bye for now.